Hello and welcome to the Change Gang podcast with me, your host, Laura Ordile. I'm here to help you hold on to your sanity and your soul as you move through big change. I'm here to guide you from frustration to flow in your life, bridging the practical and the woo, just for you. Let's go. Welcome to the week, Change Gang. I hope all things are going well for you and that they get even better as you move through the week. Today we're going to talk about hypnosis, hypnotherapy. Same thing. I want to come in and talk about it a little bit in some detail, even though I believe I mentioned it way back in one of my first episodes about as one of the ways to kind of jumpstart change with the subconscious. I want to talk a little bit more about it and explain it, because sometimes people think, oh, hypnosis, isn't that where you watch you follow with your eyes the little pocket watch, and then you get it, you're on stage and you cluck like a chicken, and that's not what I do. Yes, there are people that do that and it's fun and interesting, or not, depending on who you are. But I do things a little bit different. So I want to ask you a question. How would it be if I could help you to use your own natural talents to achieve what you want? How would that be? Pretty incredible, right? Pretty dang incredible. And that is what hypnosis does. It's one of the, if not the most effective way to communicate directly with the subconscious mind. And the subconscious mind is where everything runs. That's where the control panels are for life, for everything. That's where the bus driver sits, basically. The subconscious or unconscious mind is the bus driver. It's the one that drives you where you need to go in the way that it wants to, in the way that it knows. And if you want to change that, oftentimes you might struggle with just trying to do it with your willpower, with just trying to do it by changing a habit. It can be so much more effective, easier, and quicker when you go in and you have a conversation with the subconscious mind first. And you have that conversation and you get acknowledgement that yes, it is willing and ready to make the changes that you want to do. And also you go in and you have that conversation, and I don't even have to know necessarily the details of where your issue comes from or what is behind it, or even how far back it comes from. We don't have to dig into the uncomfortable things to be able to make the changes, because your subconscious mind already knows. It is the conduit to all that is. It's the conduit to the universe, and it can go and find that easiest, quickest, most wonderful, healthy way for that change to be made in your life that you would not have come up with in the next 10 years. So why not do that? Why wouldn't you want to step in and do that? Well, some people say, because I don't want somebody else controlling my mind. I don't want you in there messing around with my mind. Well, first of all, I don't want to control anybody else's mind. Maybe there's some people out there that do, and I'm sorry, just like in everything, every instance, in every occupation, there are people that are not doing what they're supposed to be doing. But I want to go in and help you find that wonderful way to use your own natural talents. I do. And by doing that, you are still aware of the conversation that I'm having with you. Some people might go deep enough where they don't really remember tiny details or anything like that. But one of the things that I do too, going into a hypnotherapy session, is oftentimes just let them know, especially if they are concerned about that. Going into the hypnosis part is to say, anytime that you need to be awake or want to come back awake fully, you can do that. You absolutely can do that, and you can. I don't take away any of your control in what you're doing in that moment. I just go in and have a conversation with your subconscious and ask it to do the things that you want. So I'm like a mediator, a little bit of a mediator, so that I can help with the things that you need. Now, hypnosis, I guess, sometimes is explained as a bit of a state of extreme focus, or some people would say it's extreme relaxation, or even almost like a guided meditation, that where you just follow my voice and you go on the journey. And again, here, some people would say, I don't visualize. I can't visualize. I don't visualize very well. Well, most of the time people can visualize a little bit better than they expect. Just because you've seen pictures even of most things. And if you've seen a picture, you've experienced it. If I say, hey, I want you to think about a big elephant with floppy ears, you're going to have an idea in your mind what that looks like 99.9% of the time. So your mind can grasp that and go, okay, yep, I've got the elephant. What are we doing with the elephant? And so from there, you're able to kind of go with the flow in things. And that's where I come in and guiding you and moving you along. Even if you do struggle with visualization, there are ways through just my words where maybe you are better at understanding things when you hear it. Then we can talk about the sounds that are there, or that you hear someone speaking to you, or whatever it is that is going to work for you. And that's where a little bit of a conversation comes in play before we actually do the session. So that's there. Let's see, a few more things about, here, and one of the ways, there's different ways, I guess, to do hypnosis and hypnotherapy, and people teach it differently. And the way that I learned is a bit, I'm probably more focused on what's called the Ericksonian. There was a gentleman by the name of Erickson that created a very indirect way to help people with whatever it is that they're struggling with. He would take people on a journey, and through the use of words and stories and things, he would help them process and move through the issues that they were having. And by building up a rapport, so that when I am having that conversation with you, there is that baseline of some trust in it. It's an incredibly wonderful way, because when you go in and you have that conversation with the subconscious, you are acknowledging that part of yourself. And who doesn't want acknowledgement? Honestly, everyone does. I've explained it as, sometimes things will kind of keep coming back at you, and sometimes that's your subconscious poking at you, because it's a little bit like a puppy dog. When the puppy dog comes up and wants your attention, it's going to sit there and poke at you and play at you and bark at you and do all these things. And the more you ignore it, the more attention it's going to want. So once you pat it and you play with it a little bit and you acknowledge it, then it's going to go lay down happy, right? It's going to do the things that you want it to do. It might come back. Might want more attention. That's okay. Now you know. Give it some attention, acknowledge it, let it go, and it's going to do the things that you need and want. And the subconscious is a lot like that. When you go in and you have that and you acknowledge it, it's incredible the changes that can come from that. It's just incredible. And there's the basic things that you can do with hypnosis. You can, I say basic, but they're pretty life-changing. Lose weight. Obviously work with what your eating situation is, or gain weight if you need to gain weight. It can work to help you with breaking a habit, whether it's smoking, drinking, chewing tobacco, anything like that. It can be really helpful there. And also with sleep, certain kinds of sleep issues, it's super helpful with. And then it also taps into confidence, procrastination. I've actually helped people with intimacy issues, moving into being able to experience an intimate relationship much better, much easier. And when we get caught up, sometimes there's a lot of us out there that might get caught up in imposter syndrome or in not being able to step into the role in our business that we want to step into with the confidence that we need, or with the comfort level of maybe you have your own business and you're not comfortable with working in sales. And if you have your own business, you're probably going to have to work in some sales. So hypnosis can step in and help with all of those things. It's incredible. And I'm just going to say a little side note here, because I'm just learned how to do something new with subliminal messaging, and some of the wonderful ways to do that with the music and the tones that you use as well, to really tap into some of those things in the unconscious as well. And I'm just having a blast with that, because I can tailor it. I can tailor it to the individual, just like with hypnosis, or I can make it pretty general. I'm having fun, and I'm making them and listening to them myself and seeing some changes happen, which is super cool. But back to hypnosis, because I can get sidetracked really easily and have a good time. So hypnosis takes you into an incredibly relaxed state, and it depends how deep the person wants to take you, what they're doing, what's kind of going to happen, what they want to access, what they're going to use as tools along the way. So it can go anywhere from being kind of at a light, just drifting kind of state, into a very deep state where there's a lot more suggestibility. And that's something that you talk about with the person that you're doing the hypnosis with, you agree to, and you allow. Because if you're not going to allow something, then it's just not going to happen. And that's okay. If you're not comfortable allowing it, then it's not time for you to step in and do that. But if you find someone that you trust, hopefully like someone like me, that can work with you and move through those things to help you move into the best possible state you can be in, then trust that it's okay to allow the things that are going to happen, the changes. That's another conversation, again, with the subconscious, of allowing. And sometimes there's things in your subconscious that might kick up a fuss about that and have some objections. And so you have to go in and, again, say, hey, you don't have to tell me what the objections are, but can we find a way to clear those objections? Can we find a way to work through that with this new way of doing things, so that there is a consensus with you, with the subconscious, with me as the person that's kind of the guide, so that we can do things where nothing's kicking up in the way. The blocks are cleared. The way is open. That is what's important to me, and that is what you get through that process. So I hope I explained that a little bit better for you. And of course, if you have any questions, come on in and have a conversation with me. We'll talk about it, and I will answer any questions that you have. And one of the fun things I'm going to share with you today that can be done with hypnosis is another kind of a specialized version of it that's called past life regression. That's usually done through hypnosis. And I recently had a fun experience with that, and a wonderful fun thing that I'm going to tell you is that I get to have the person, I'm going to have my first guest, and we are going to chat about past life regression and probably some other things, but really kind of dig into how past life regression can help move you through change in your life. If you're going through a change, or you're feeling stuck, or there's something that you feel like is holding you back, and you're not sure what it's related to, of course, I know that hypnotherapy can often help with that. Past life regression is another way to tap in and move through some of those things. And you know what? Sometimes it can just be a bit of fun. A bit of fun. And yes, that is on my woo side, because most people would consider past life stuff woo. But she is going to be here. So I hope you come back, you have a listen, and I'll have all her information included for you then. So there you go, guys. I hope you have a great week, and I hope to meet you right here again next week. Ciao. I hope today's episode was interesting to you in some way and fun. If so, hey, find someone to share it with. Maybe they need to hear it too, or maybe they'll just enjoy it. If you'd like, go ahead and grab my tips on supercharging your success. It includes a free short meditation to do just that. You can find that at bit.ly/supercharge your success. Until next time, happy day.